Let me ask you something. How bad do you want it? I mean, really want it. Because growth is not for the weak. It is not for the ones looking for shortcuts. It is not for the ones who back down when things get tough. See, the moment you decide to grow, life is going to test you, it's going to push you, it's going to break you down, and most people, they quit. They give up because they thought success was supposed to be easy. But let me tell you the truth, if it's easy, it ain't worth it. See, growth is hard because it demands everything from you, your time, your energy, your comfort. But the beauty is that if you push through, if you refuse to quit, if you embrace the struggle, growth will transform you into something greater than you ever imagined. And that's why you gotta love it. People love to talk about success. They admire the victories, the achievements, the glory. But what they don't talk about is the price, the sacrifices, the discipline, the struggle. Because growth, real growth, is painful. It's uncomfortable. It's lonely. And that's why most people avoid it. They stay where it's safe, where it's easy, where they don't have to challenge themselves. But the truth is, nothing great ever comes from comfort. Every person who has ever reached greatness has walked through fire to get there. They've faced rejection, failure, doubt, and fear. They've had nights where they wanted to quit, days where they questioned if they were even good enough, moments where everything in them screamed to give up. But they didn't. They endured. They pushed through. They embraced the pain because they understood something most people don't. Growth demands suffering. See, when you push yourself beyond your limits, your mind and body resist. That's the old version of you fighting to survive. It wants to hold on to old habits, old fears, old limitations. It wants to stay comfortable because comfort is familiar. But you can't let it win. You have to break through that resistance. You have to keep going, even when every part of you wants to stop. Because on the other side of that struggle is transformation. Growth will strip you down. It will expose your weaknesses. It will make you question yourself. But that's part of the process. Because through that struggle, you develop strength. Through that pain, you build resilience. Through that discomfort, you create a version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, and more powerful than before. Most people never experience that because they quit too soon. They run from pain instead of embracing it. Fear is the greatest enemy of growth. It whispers in your ear, planting doubt before you even take the first step. It convinces you that you're not ready, that you're not good enough, that you don't have what it takes. And if you listen to it, if you let it control you, it will paralyze you. It will keep you stuck in the same place, watching opportunities pass you by while you make excuses for why you never move forward. But fear is nothing but a test. It's there to see if you're willing to push past it, if you're willing to trust yourself, if you're willing to have faith. Faith is the only thing stronger than fear. It is the belief in something you can't yet see. It is knowing deep down that even if you don't have all the answers, even if you don't know exactly how things will work out, you are still willing to take the next step. Faith is understanding that failure is part of the journey, that setbacks are lessons, that struggle is necessary. Fear tells you to wait until everything is perfect. Faith tells you to move forward, even when it's not. Every successful person has felt fear. The difference is they didn't let it stop them. They felt it, acknowledged it, and moved forward anyway. They bet on themselves when no one else would. They stepped into the unknown when there were no guarantees. They trusted the process, believed in their ability to figure things out, and refused to let fear dictate their future. Growth is impossible without faith because faith is what carries you through the moments when nothing seems to be working, when the path is unclear, when everything in you wants to turn back. Failure is the one thing people fear the most, but it is also the one thing that teaches the most valuable lessons. Nobody wants to fail. Nobody wants to feel the weight of disappointment, the sting of rejection, or the frustration of coming up short. But failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of success. It is the training ground, the foundation, the blueprint. Every mistake, every setback, every defeat carries within it the knowledge and experience needed to grow. The problem is most people don't see it that way. They see failure as an end instead of a beginning. They take one loss and decide they're not good enough. They let one rejection define them. They let one mistake convince them to quit. The truth is, the most successful people in the world have failed more times than the average person has even tried. They didn't just stumble once or twice, they failed over and over again. But they didn't let that failure break them. They studied it. They analyzed what went wrong, adjusted their approach, and tried again. They understood that failure is nothing more than feedback, a sign that something needs to be improved, refined, or changed. Every failure brings them closer to success because every failure eliminates what doesn't work and reveals what does. The people who win in life are not the people who never fail. They are the people who refuse to stay down. They take their failures and turn them into fuel. They develop resilience, persistence, and an unshakable belief in themselves. They understand that the process of growth requires breaking, rebuilding, and refining. They know that without failure, there is no progress, no wisdom, no true success. Growth doesn't happen in a day. It doesn't happen in a week or even a month. Real growth, the kind that changes your life, takes time. But we live in a world where people want instant results. They want success overnight. They want to put in a little effort and see big rewards. And when it doesn't happen fast enough, they quit. They convince themselves that it wasn't meant to be, that they weren't good enough, that it's just not working. But the truth is, they didn't give it enough time. They didn't stay consistent long enough to see the results. They lack patience. Everything great takes time to build. A strong body requires years of disciplined training. A successful career demands years of learning, failing, and growing. A deep, meaningful skill is mastered only through relentless repetition. The problem is, most people don't stick with something long enough to see the rewards. They get frustrated when progress is slow. They compare themselves to others who seem to be ahead. They doubt themselves when they don't see immediate results. And so they stop. But if they had just kept going, if they had stayed the course a little longer, they would have seen the breakthrough. The most successful people are not always the smartest, the most talented, or the most gifted. They are the ones who refuse to quit. They are the ones who keep showing up day after day, no matter how hard it gets. They understand that consistency beats intensity. They know that small, steady progress adds up over time. They embrace the process, knowing that every step forward, no matter how small, brings them closer to their goal. They don't let slow progress discourage them because they trust that persistence will always pay off. Without purpose, growth feels empty. Without a deep reason behind your actions, every challenge feels unbearable, every setback feels final, and every obstacle feels like a reason to quit. Purpose is the fuel that keeps you moving when everything in you wants to stop. It is the reason behind the struggle, the anchor that holds you steady when the storm hits. When you know why you're doing something, you find strength you didn't even know you had. But when you don't have a purpose, you will fold at the first sign of resistance. Most people fail to grow not because they lack talent, intelligence, or resources, but because they lack a strong enough reason to keep going. They start with excitement, but when things get difficult, they lose motivation. They allow distractions to pull them away. They allow temporary discomfort to make them forget why they started. But when your purpose is strong, you don't need motivation, you have commitment. You don't need inspiration, you have discipline. You don't need external validation, you have an internal drive that pushes you forward no matter what. Purpose is personal. It's not about impressing others, proving people wrong, or chasing empty rewards. It's about what truly matters to you. It's about knowing what you stand for, what you're willing to fight for, and what you refuse to settle for. It's about having a vision so clear that no amount of failure, rejection, or hardship can make you walk away. The people who grow the most, who achieve the most, who become the strongest, are the ones who are connected to something bigger than themselves. They don't let momentary pain distract them from their greater mission. They wake up every day with intention, knowing that every step forward is a step towards something meaningful. Struggle is not something to run from, it is something to embrace. Most people see challenges as barriers, as reasons to stop, as proof that they are not meant to succeed. They let hardship break them, let obstacles discourage them, let failures define them. But struggle is not there to stop you, it is there to shape you. It is there to refine you, to strengthen you, to prepare you for what you say you want. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to build resilience, to develop discipline, to prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you think. The strongest people are not the ones who have had it easy. They are the ones who have been tested, the ones who have been knocked down and refused to stay there. They have faced rejection, disappointment, and pain, but instead of running from it, they used it. They let their struggles become their training ground. They understood that discomfort is necessary for growth, that without resistance, there is no strength. Every hardship they endured added to their foundation, made them wiser, made them tougher, made them unstoppable. Most people don't fail because they lack ability, they fail because they lack endurance. They give up when things get tough. They let frustration make decisions for them. They see struggle as a sign to turn back instead of a reason to push forward. But the ones who win, the ones who grow, the ones who rise to their full potential, they don't fear struggle, they welcome it. They understand that growth is not supposed to be easy, that every difficulty they overcome is making them into the person they need to be. They take their struggles and turn them into strength. So now I ask you again, how bad do you want it? Because growth is hard. It will test you. It will demand sacrifice. But if you embrace it, if you love it, if you push through when others quit, you will become the person you were destined to be. So don't run from the struggle. Run towards it. Because on the other side of pain is greatness. Now go get it.